We're at Summer NAMM 2018, and I got Scott Mills here.
Hello.
From the band Colony House / The Secret Weapon to a lot of other bands that
What's
tour
up?
and take him along with him. Scott is not just a great technical, proficient guitar player, but he's also a great technical and proficient man. And we're thankful to have him here on the couch for a little bit.
Many appreciations.
Yeah. Okay, so do you give us a little insight on how Colony House started? And yeah, how did Colony House start? How'd you guys get from the garage to the stage?
So we started very much in the garage. Really a barn. We practiced in a barn. We're a barn band, not a garage band. But we spent a lot of time practicing. We probably practiced like 5 days a week at first, and it was intense to practice that much.
Evenings, mornings, all day?
We did like normal days. It was really fun because we didn't have like a lot of responsibilities back then. So we would practice and then like go out to dinner at a local Mexican restaurant, La Hacienda.
Yeah.
Like, every night. It was
amazing. And that was
amazing.
here in Nashville?
I was here, down in Franklin.
Cool, Franklin.
So I would say we spent a lot of time practicing and just like honing the craft. Like it wasn't the first year that we were a band, we probably had 3 times as many band practices as shows. And that was fun. You know, in that moment, it was really fun to like get to play. And practice wasn't like work. It was like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to get better and better and better. We had like, you know, we're influenced by like U2 and Coldplay and Killers and the Vaccines and all these like amazing bands. Yeah. And it wasn't hard for us to listen to ourselves and be like, we have a long way to go. And so I think practicing like and over practicing and especially encouraging each other to get better at each other's instrument. Like I'm able to say that each member of the band is like 10 times better of a drummer or a guitar player or a singer or a writer than we were when we started because we all put the work in individually as well as collectively.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so you're trying to tell me that practice is important?
It really is.
How do you guys practice as a band? Are you guys, you know, like do you guys go through like your whole set, practice like song changes or things like that? Or do you guys just kind of, it's just ad hoc, it's just different every time? Or how do you guys practice as a band?
I feel like these days practicing for us is a lot more about like making moments in the show. Because, you know, especially songs off our first record, I've played those songs at least 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Per song.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of times.
I don't have to try to play those songs anymore. But there becomes a moment where you get so familiar with something that you have to, like, go back and revisit it because you're like, I've added, like, 10 things to that song now. And now, when I play it, I probably don't sound as good as the original recording, so got to go back and teach myself that. But for us now, it's not a matter of like, can we play the song? It's a matter of like, how do we make that song communicate what we're trying to communicate in the best way at a show? Like, is it a cool new way to do the chorus, or is it like an intro or an outro that makes it special? Because, you know, you listen to a song 1,000 times and, you know, when it comes on, you're like, oh, I've heard this before, but put like a new twist on it and it kind of makes it fresh. It's fun for us and I feel like it's fun for listeners.
That makes sense. How many shows you guys played last year and how many are you playing this year?
Last year we played 127 shows.
It's a lot.
It was a lot of shows.
How are you guys doing? What are you guys doing this year?
This year we're going to be more in like the 90 range.
Yeah. So, okay, so next steps for bands, what would you say is kind of the most, once you have songs and you have a release that you feel really good about, what would you say is the next step for a band? Like a band manager, a tour manager, something along those lines to kind of help you guys function and get out there and gig and all that kind of stuff, gig efficiently? Like, what would you say is like a next step for a band?
I feel like bands it's like the classic tale of like bands getting caught up in like wanting to get signed and stuff, and especially these days, there's so many different ways to do it. Hey, currently Colony House isn't signed. So you don't have to be signed. There you go. Come get us. But I think that having someone that believes in the band and sees like a marketability for the band on the show side, and then the band like managerial side is crucial. Like, our first person that really believed in us was a booking agent, and he was like, I'm gonna get you all out on the road. I can call clubs and I can get you shows. And it wasn't.
Did they do that?
Yep.
That's great.
After 2 months after our very first record came out, we went and played like 52 shows in 60 days. And I'm not saying that there were people at these shows, but we made enough money to get to the next city, and that was like what it was about for a long time. You know, some shows were great. Some shows like Albuquerque on a Monday, there's like 7 people there, 5 of them have their head down on the bar, and you're just like trying to get out of there as soon as you can. But
I've played those shows. I've probably played more of those shows for sure.
Yeah. Wow, that guy's killing it.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, I think finding a booking agent that believes in the band, and finding, and not even like a proper booking agent, just someone that's got some connections and willing to go cold call some places and get you some shows.
So you tapped on something really cool earlier. Calling House is currently not signed. Is that something is that a model you guys prefer? Do you guys kind of want to operate as your own business and contract out a lot of people, or would you rather be distributing through a label, or kind of what's the Colony House model, and why?
Well, we're trying to be the poster child for every model that there is. So our first record was on an indie label. Our second record was on a big major label. And then now we're not signed. And so we're seeing how this third record's going to go whenever that happens. And I don't know. I feel like it's like choosing something for dinner. It's like what you're in the mood for. Like, if you want to be like a single band and you want to like pop out singles, and that your music really lends itself to that, and you want to be on the radio, like major labels are the key. If you want to start like a grassroots kind of thing and not worry as much about that, I think indie labels or like distribution deals are a great way to do that. And you look at people like Macklemore and people like, Ben Rector for a long time. Like, these people don't have labels. They have like loyal fan bases and distribution deals where they definitely have people working for them, but they're not with a major label. And there's plenty of ways that you can do that.
That's good. It's really good. Okay, so last thing, what advice, if any, would you give to guitarists that want to get out of practicing in the bedroom, in the dorm room, or wherever, and kind of get out there and start playing? What would you say to those guys?
I would say, spend a lot of time in the bedroom being good, not doing anything besides playing guitar, of course.
Be good in the bedroom.
Unless you're married. But, yeah, spend a lot of time in the woodshed, so to speak, like getting good, so that when the opportunities come, you're not scrambling to try to live up to the opportunity. Like, that's your moment to release what has been going on in the woodshed. At the same time, I say, like, every relationship that you make it count. Like, I think people are such a huge part of the job. Meeting people, having good relationships with people, and generally people can sniff out like your motive if you're trying to come to them for something in particular, or there's a good way to meet people and kind of make contacts, and there's a bad way to do it. Don't do the bad way.
Don't do the bad way. Be good at guitar and be good in the bedroom. So that's what he said.
That's what it's like to be a guitar player.
All right, great. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Peace. See ya.